Welcome back, guys. So I held a poll recently on our Instagram and I asked you guys what trick you wanted to see next, and everyone voted for Bigflip. But before we get into it, if you haven't seen it yet, my pro model board is out and it was made through Board Pusher, which is a custom skateboard website, and they make the best wood ever. These boards skate so good. But look how good it prints out. It's so easy. You just upload a high quality PNG to the website on the shape of the board that you want. All kinds of different shapes and sizes too, which is awesome. And they even do grip tape. So if you have a photo or a cool design that you made that you want printed on a skateboard, this is the best website to do it through. And this video is sponsored by Gnars, which is my main sponsor and who this board is by. And if you're curious what Gnars is, it's a Web3 skateboarding brand and a full community of awesome people who vote together on passing proposals, on sponsoring people, on getting projects funded all around the world. And they also have a website called That's Gnarly that'll link below. And you can go to that website, upload your own clips, mint them as NFTs, and get paid for them. It's the coolest thing ever. Now let's learn Bigflips. And as you guys are learning this, it's a lot easier to do on a hip at a skate park or off of a ramp. Then you don't have to rotate it all the way and you have that extra lift from the kicker. If you're having a lot of trouble on flat ground, then it might help to try it at a skate park. All right, now let's talk front foot and back foot. For the front foot, I place it very similarly like I do for a tray flip. Like I explained for a tray flip, you don't want your foot to be straight and at the same angle as you would for a kick flip. You actually want to angle it a little bit more. That really helps with the flick because your foot turns and it just flicks right off that edge as the board rotates. So having it at that little bit of an angle, it makes a big difference. Also, you want to be putting a lot of weight down on this edge of the board. It really is how you balance out the weight between your front and your back foot. So you want to be having weight down right here and then counter it with the same amount of weight down on this side of the board. So your board's level before you pop, and that gives you the most pop because you're putting all this pressure down. And if your board's flat and it's not leaning one way, you'll have the most pressure you can put down that way. And if you're curious what shoes these are the Lakai Riley 3 high tops. One of my favorite shoes of all time. On the back foot, I like to set up almost like I do for a tray flip with this, but a little bit less off that edge of the tail. The reason for that is when you go to pop, if your foot's too far off, your toes will end up hitting the ground because you're rotating and turning with the big flip. And for some reason that really affects the pop. So I just shift my foot a little bit less off that tail for big flips in comparison to tray flips. Also, when you're bending down, you want all the weight to be pushing down on this corner, this edge of the tail. A good way to do that is by lifting up your heel slightly. So you're putting even more weight down on the ball of your foot. Now let's talk angle. So just like I taught with backside flips and other backside rotation tricks, it actually helps to go at a little bit of the opposite angle right before you pop. I know it sounds weird, but that's how you get the wind up, and that's how you also stay above your board by the way that you lean. If you're angling that way and the way you're already going, it's gonna be so much harder to stay above your board. Your board just wants to fly away from you. That's why it helps to go the opposite angle, because you're winding up this way and you're getting ready to jump this way. Because your board already wants to jump that way, if you angle slightly this way first, it's gonna help you stay above it so much better. Now let's talk timing of the pop. So like I mentioned, winding up your shoulders is so important for this trick. Look at that. You almost wind up this way at first, and then you twist this way real fast, and that helps your body follow all the way through with the rest of the rotation. So you bend down, wind up, and you start turning your torso, and then you pop. Pretty much when you're already facing like this is when your tail is actually popping off the ground. And a good hack is to look where you want to go, and your body will follow. So by the time I'm popping, I'm already looking over here, and I continue to look where I want to land. Some tricks you face straight this way, but for this trick, you face a little bit forward. So as you're rolling up, you're almost facing ahead of yourself at an angle, and then when you're ready to pop, that's when you start twisting. And another good hack I always share is to bend down above your back leg so you can put more weight down on it. So if you'll notice, my back leg is bent out further than my front leg because I'm putting more weight down on it. It also helps to take your time bending down before you pop. That helps with your balance so much. As you're rolling up, get into the right position, take your time, and when you're ready, when your balance is on point, then pop. All right, now let's get into popping and scooping. So if you watch in slow-mo, you'll see that as I rotate and pop, when I pop, my board's almost facing at an angle already, which is wild, but that helps with the scoop as well. So you can see your shoulders rotating already kind of begins the scoop. And then your toes being up on that edge, that helps as well. Because if your foot's flat, it's gonna be a lot harder to scoop. If you have it up on the edge a little bit, you'll see when I pop and scoop, standing up with my toes like that, that helps push and scoop the board. It does feel a lot like a tray flip when I do this trick, but sometimes it requires a little less scoop because you can power slide the last half of the rotation for this. You don't technically have to rotate it all the way around. Now the flick. As you rotate, right when your board's facing pretty much directly out, you flick right at that time. Right after you pop, you flick. And having that weight on the edge of the board helps so much with the flick. You already have that weight pushing down in there and the pressure, so you just kind of curl those toes as you flick, kick out real fast. A lot like you would for a backside flip. And you have to kick pretty far out for big flips. Now, like I mentioned, it's really hard to stay above your board on this trick. It can fly away from you really easily. That's why it's so important to go at that angle and to lean over your toes, like I said. Basically, lean with your body where you want to end up and land on the board. That'll help you stay above it so much better. You're popping, you're already leaning this way. Then you jump and stay above it. Then it's just a matter of figuring out how to land on it and getting that lean just right before you pop. And eventually, land on those bolts and roll away. That's it for big flips, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in to another tutorial. And before you go, don't leave quite yet, because I'm gonna do some big flips, one in slow motion, and then I got key takeaways for you to take home with you. And don't forget to check out boardpusher.com and Gnars. Let's do some.
Hang tight. Make sure you hang on to these key takeaways. Angle your front foot more than you would for most tricks. Lift your heel to stand up on your back toes. Roll up at the opposite angle. Wait until the board is level before you pop. Lean over the toe side of your board. And finally, start turning your head and torso before you pop. I got over 40 more tutorials on our channel, guys. Hope you like them. You!